ಶುರು ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ ಸರ್? ಹಲೋ,
Yes, sir.
ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋದಾ ಸರ್?
Yes, sir.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್.
Namaskar. Shall we start?
Yes, sir. I will give a small introduction about you, sir.
Yes.
ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಸೊ ಇಂದಿನ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಿ.ವಿ. ಶಿವಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ರವರು ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಹೆಜಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಿವೆನ್ಷನ್ ವಿಷಯದ ಮೇಲೆ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ನೀಡಲಿದ್ದು ಅವರನ್ನು ಐ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ our CEO Dr. Ramesh sir and Academy Chairperson Professor Ayappan sir. So ಇಂದಿನ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಆದಂತ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಿ.ವಿ. ಶಿವಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಅವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕಿರುನೋಟ. ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ, ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ, ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಮತ್ತು ಮೀನುಗಾರಿಕೆ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಗಳ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯ ಬೀದರ್ ಕಳೆದ 5 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದು, ಈ ಹಿಂದೆ ಡೀನ್ ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಬೀದರ್ ಡೀನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಿದ್ದು ಹಾಗೂ ಶಸ್ತ್ರಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆಯ ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕರಾಗಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಟ್ಟು 30 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಅನುಭವ ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದು, ಅವರ ಸ್ನಾತಕೋತ್ತರ ಮತ್ತು PhD ಪದವಿಯನ್ನು ಉತ್ತರ ಪ್ರದೇಶದ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಿತ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಸಂಶೋಧನಾ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಿಂದ ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದು ಹಾಗೂ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಸಂಶೋಧನಾ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳ ಮೇಲ್ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಕೂಡ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದು, ತದನಂತರ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು, ಸಾಕು ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಕಾಡು ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 10,000ಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಶಸ್ತ್ರಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದ್ದು, ಹಲವಾರು ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ, ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದು, ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಟ್ಟದ ವೈಜ್ಞಾನಿಕ ಸಂಘಗಳು, ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸಂಘ ಮತ್ತು ಆಡಳಿತದಿಂದ 17ಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದು, ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಭಾಸ್ಕರ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎ. ಭಾರ್ಗವ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ, ರಮಣ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರ ಸ್ಮಾರಕ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ, ISVN ಮೂಳೆ ಶಸ್ತ್ರಚಿಕಿತ್ಸಾ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ, ರೂಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್ಜರಿ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಸಂಘದ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮ ಪಶುವೈದ್ಯ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ, INTS ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮ ಕ್ಲಿನಿಕಲ್ ಲೇಖನ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೂ ಅನೇಕ ಸಂಶೋಧನಾ ಪ್ರಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ಪ್ರಕಟಿಸಿ ಕೆಲವು ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ಮಂಡಿಸಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣದ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪ್ರೇರಿತ ಉಚಿತ ಸೇವೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ದೂರದ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ರೈತರ ಮನೆಬಾಗಿಲಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿರುವುದು ಒಂದು ವಿಶೇಷ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಓವರ್ ಟು ಯು.
Thank you very much, sir. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಾನು ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಬಂಧವನ್ನ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕನ್ನಡ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ತಮ್ಮ ಅನುಮತಿಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿ, the Honorable Chairman, Professor Ayappan sir, and the Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Ramesh. I'm very much thankful to both of them for providing me an opportunity to speak on this topic, and all the officers concerned about KSTA, I'm equally thankful to them. Coming to the subject proper, the topic of this discussion today is the hazards of plastics to environment and its prevention. Plastic ಇಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ವಾತಾವರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೇನು ತೊಂದರೆಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಆಗ ಇವುಗಳ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಹೇಗೆ, ಇವುಗಳ ಒಂದು ತಡೆಯನ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಕುರಿತಂತೆ ಈ ದಿನ ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಇದೊಂದು ಗ್ರೀಕ್ ಪದ. ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಿಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಬೇಕಾದ ಆಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೀಕರ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್. ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ನಾವು ಚರಿತ್ರೆ, we look into the history of the plastic, was used since thousands of years, as early as in 1600 BC only, by ancient Mesoamericans. Then in the 19th century, many semi-synthetic plastics were introduced. In 1909, phenol formaldehyde plastic material called bakelite was discovered, and it was used for many purposes like telephones and edging parts. In 1926, modern form of PVC was created. Then in 1933, polyvinylidene chloride was, in the name of CERN, was introduced. Then later on in 1937, polyurethane. In 1938, polystyrene. They were introduced for peanut packaging. In 1938, polytetrafluoroethylene or PTFE, it is also called as Teflon, was invented by Roy Plunkett. In 1939, nylon was invented by Wallace Carothers. Later on, polyethylene terephthalate, that is commonly known as PET, was introduced in 1941, and this was used for the manufacture of beverage bottles. Later on in 1951, high-density polyethylene, HDP, and polypropylene were introduced. Later on in 1954, polyester foam came. Subsequently, polybutylene terephthalate was introduced. Like that, several plastic materials are available today. If you look into the world's plastic production, in 1950, hardly 1.5 million tons plastics were produced. But in the year 2002, about 200 billion tons of plastic were produced. And in the year 2009, 230 millions of plastics are being produced. That means the increase is 200-fold in the world. The rise of plastic consumption in India also has increased tremendously. In the year 1996, approximately 61,000 tons of plastics were produced, but in the year 2017, 178,000 tons of plastics have been produced. In India, plastic industry is worth about 48,000 crores. About 22,000 plastic manufacturing units are present in India. According to Central Pollution Control Board, in 1996, plastic consumption in India was about 61,000 tons. But later on, it's now 170. In the year of 2017, it rose to 178 lakh tons. In India, top most plastic consuming producing waste producing states in India is Maharashtra, number one, followed by Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, and Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka. Karnataka stands fifth in the top 5 plastic waste producing states. In international level, the consumption of plastic is quite different. In developed countries, construction and automobiles consume about 53% of plastics, and 33% are used for packaging food. Americans use millions of plastic straws every single day. In North Pacific Gyre, plastics have been dumped in enormous quantities, and it is termed as Great Pacific Garbage Patch. In developing countries, situation is quite different. About 44 to 48% of plastics are used for packaging food and beverages. In Western countries, the plastic handling, collection system, recycling, they are quite organized. China receives about 56% of plastic waste worldwide, and it then recycles it and it manufactures its own plastic goods. In India, the plastic waste, there is a relentless inflow. It's about 15,000 tons per day. Study by CPET and CPBCB in 60 major cities has shown that 66% of plastic waste was constituted by high-density polyethylene or low-density polyethylene, and they are mainly used for plastic carry bags. Now, disposal of plastics also situation varies in the developing countries. The handling of plastic waste is improper. It's because of less stringent implementation of law, less awareness among the people, low economic status of the people. They are not able to buy costly alternative materials. As a result, the plastic waste in these developing countries, they are dumped on the roadsides and open grounds so that animals and people come into its exposure. These plastics, when they stay in the environment for a long time, when they are exposed to the sunlight, rain, and other atmosphere, they are broken down into various microplastics. These, when in the environment and the stomach of animals, they release plasticizers, monomers, BPA, DHP, TPP, polychlorinated biphenyls, dioxins, and heavy metals, like all these microplastics, very slowly. These chemicals are detected in milk and meat of animals, and they enter the food chain and also human body for a long period of time. These microplastics or plastic debris are classified mainly as three types. If they are bigger in size, say more than 20 millimeter diameter, they are called as macro debris. If they measure about 2 to 20 millimeter, they are termed as meso debris. If they are very small nanoparticles, less than 2 millimeter in size, they are called as micro debris or microplastics. When we think about these macro debris, they are bigger in size, more than 20 millimeter in size, that means more than 2 centimeter in size. A good example of this is ghost net. This net is abandoned by fishermen in the sea, and these ghost nets can grow to the mass of 6 tons. If they join together, they measure heavily, and they are too large to be removed from the ocean. Coming to the mid-sized microparticles, they are termed as mesodebris. They are actually plastic resin pellets. They are also called as nurdles. They have maximum diameter of 5 mm. Because of their small size, they are expelled into the environment during transport and manufacturing. They then travel to surface, rivers, and go towards the ocean. Micro debris are less than 5 millimeter in diameter. Meso and macro debris further fragment into smaller particles, and they are called as microparticles. They come under the influence of UV radiation, photooxidative degradation, and they become very small. They are also called as scrubbers. They originate from hand cleaners, cosmetic products, and air blast cleaning media. These microplastics may be primary in nature or they may be secondary. Primary microplastics are small plastic particles directly into the environment via domestic and industrial effluents, spills, and sewage discharge. Or they may be released indirectly, like through fragmentation as fibers, pellets, films, tears associated with pharmaceutical and cosmetic industries. Secondary microplastics, they result from gradual degradation or fragmentation of larger particles present in the environment. So they undergo mechanical transformation between the sea because of waves, they get upgraded, or they may be biologically degraded by microorganisms. So these microplastics, one of the good example is polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs. These are very dangerous in microscopic plants. They affect photosynthesis. In higher animals, they affect reproduction. In marine or freshwater invertebrates, fish, birds, they may cause death of the embryo, abnormalities at birth. These PCBs are carcinogenic. They induce cancer, and also they are immunotoxic in nature. These PCBs are existing worldwide. They are washed, these plastic pellets are washed ashore into the seashore. USA is responsible for half of the world's total PCBs production. Microplastics, another example is polystyrene polymers. They look like thread-like fibers, 525 micrometers, and they enter into the bodies of the aquatic animals. So they are present even in some products like toothpaste, face wash, and abrasive cleaners. These are small enough to easily pass through water filtration and sewage treatment systems, and finally end up in polluting the nature. In 2017, one study revealed that 80% of water samples collected over 5 continents tested positive for plastics. One of the recent studies showed that microplastics appeared in human stools also for the first time. The level of PCBs and hexachlorocyclohexane compounds increased in breast milk of mothers also. Some of the substances are added to plastics. They are harmful in nature. These additives are like polychlorinated biphenyl ethers. They are often added to PVC. They can leach into the food packaging, and they are major endocrine disruptors. Di2-ethyl halate are the major plasticizer used in the blood bags and catheters. Lead and chromium are also added to plastics as pigments as far as coloring agents. They are also harmful. If you look into the effect of plastic on human health, these microparticles interfere with various cellular processes by acting as endocrine disruptors, carcinogens, allergens, and teratogens. They bind to nuclear hormone receptors and act as either agonist or antagonist of endocrine system. That means the entire hormone system gets disturbed in the human body. So they interfere with many hormones like estrogen, thyroxine, insulin. So definitely when insulin is affected, type 2 diabetes occurs in human beings. In females, these microplastic may lead to early puberty and also increased chances of breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and in males, testicular and prostate cancer. In males, they may cause reduction in the sperm counts, retention of the testicles inside the abdomen, that is cryptorchidism, altered sex behaviors, hypothyroidism, and also obesity. This shows that these microplastics cause tremendous harm to the human beings, starting from cancer to the hormonal changes to altered reproductive ability. Fetal, newborn, and juvenile mammals sensitive to very low doses of these picomolar, nanomolar doses of these chemicals. These unpolymerized monomers are highly mutagenic. Continuous exposure of them may lead to hepatocellular carcinoma and other type of cancers. The heavy metals, they are also contained in plastic materials. They are released slowly. These metals like cadmium, lead, they accumulate in the human body and they cause altered learning abilities, sometimes aggressive behavior. Coming to the effect of plastics on animal health, when animals are affected. In Jordan country, one study revealed that 74% of animals showed presence of plastics in their stomach. In Kenya, 72% of animals showed that plastics were present in their stomach. In Nigeria, also one study in 2004 revealed that 81% of animals had plastics in their stomach. In Ethiopia, one study revealed that 50% of the animals operated or in the slaughterhouse, they contain plastics. In another study, slaughterhouse survey revealed that 79% of the slaughtered animals in their stomach had plastics. In another study, about 21% of ruminants found to have indigestible foreign bodies in their stomach. They cause microscopic changes in the stomach of the sheep. They cause ulceration and loss of ruminal papillae and thinning of the mucosa stomach. In Ethiopia, in cows, one study conducted by Ramsamy and Sharma between 2004 and 2009 in Gondar city revealed that out of 700 odd stomach surgeries, about 111 animals had about 15% of animals had emergency pneumonitis because of plastics. So different quantities of plastics were recovered in the stomach, ranging from 0.75 kg to 9 kg of plastics in the stomach. Even in Republic of Rwanda, high incidence of plastic prevalence was noted. The plastic menace was also found in Egypt, Yemen, in Iraq also. One study revealed that 54 cases of Iraqi cattle had plastic materials in their stomach. In Pakistan also, a lot of animals were reported to have had plastics in their stomach. In out of 350 cattle in Pakistan, one study revealed that 207 cattle, means 59% of animals, are found to be positive for plastics in their stomachs. In India also, several case reports have been reported stating that many cows and buffaloes contain plastics in their stomach. Various reports, clinical reports, slaughterhouse pictures have been reported in India. In Delhi, postmortem report revealed that 48 cows died in a shelter home after plastic ingestion. These microplastic, one of the microplastic is dioxins. It is in one of the study by Kunise and associates in 2004 revealed that dioxins in milk sample of cows and buffaloes collected from dumping site, that means industrial site, was very high when compared to non-industrial area. These plastics, what they do in animals, they interfere with the digestion, they cause obstruction of the food passage, they will not pass on to the intestine, so animals may die ultimately. And when the animal die, when other animals also eat such animals, they also may consume plastics, and hence these plastics the cycle may continue for many years to come. In cattle, in animals, they may cause indigestion, faction, accumulation of gas in the body, and immunosuppression like changes. You can see in this picture how cows and buffaloes gain access to eat the plastics in the ground when they are let loose for grazing. So these plastic materials are dumped in the outskirts of the city or in village panchayat limits. Animals sometimes gain access to them, try to eat food materials present in the plastic covers, so they will not be able to separate them, and they consume plastic carry bags. In this table, you can see during the last 10 years, prevalence has been noticed. About 0.44% of prevalence has been noticed in stomach of the animals. Even the slaughterhouse, private slaughterhouse like in Bidar, Gulbarga, Bangalore, in Jairabad of Telangana, different quantities of plastics have been found in the stomach of animals. You can see how animal becomes weak and sits down on the ground. Ultimately, from 0.5 kg to 60 kgs of plastics will be present in the stomach. You can see the surgery is being performed, gastrotomy or ruminotomy we call, and lot of quantities of plastics are being removed from the animal. Once they are removed, animal, once it is treated with glucose and other antibiotics, it can regain its health and it can again will be useful to the farmers. You can see in this particular cow, more than 55 kgs of plastics was removed. In this particular cow, more than 70 kgs of plastics have been removed. This cow weighs just 200 kg. In that, imagine 70 kg of plastics have been removed. This is the plastic material. And this is a very tedious surgery. It takes 3 to 4 hours to perform. Plastics get entangled in the stomach. It's not easy to remove them. by an incision. You can see how much quantity of plastics have been removed from this buffalo, and immediately after surgery, the animal is grazing. So if the quantity of plastic is removed, content is more, then the chances of recovery will be less. If quantity is less, naturally animal will recover fast. So various laboratory tests are there to diagnose whether plastics are present in the body or not. Ultrasound examination by X-ray examination is very difficult to say whether the animal is having plastics in their body or not. Like various chemical tests are there, like methylene blue reduction time is increased, sedimentation activity time gets increased, total volatile fatty acids content in the stomach juice, it gets reduced. After treatment, slowly it comes to normal level. His calcium level also gets reduced, phosphorus level gets reduced in the body, glucose level and serum protein level also gets altered. Then coming to the discussion on what is the extent of plastic pollution in the ocean. A study showed that in 192 countries bordering Atlantic, Pacific and Indian Ocean, 2.5 billion tons of waste has been accumulated in the year 2010. 8 million tons of this plastic waste enters ocean every single year. 8 million tons per year. So in future, if plastic production is not stopped and if we continue this type of trend, by the year 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than the fish. By the year 2025, the plastic consumption might increase to 400 billion tons a year. If this trend continues, in the ocean, for every 1 kg of plastics, for every 3 kg of fish, there will be 1 kg of plastics. 5 countries in Asia, they are China, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam, are estimated to account for as much as 60% of the plastic waste entering into the ocean. There are 10 river systems located in heavily populated regions in Asia and Africa. In Africa, mainly Nile and Niger rivers, and in Asia, other 8 river beds like Ganga River, Indus, Yellow River, Pearl River, Mekong, and Amur. So all these are sources for this plastic travel or source. How these plastics in the ocean, what they undergo, they may get degraded in the ocean or they may get slowly accumulated in the ocean. Research in North Sea showed that all plastic debris annually dumped in the sea, about 15% of it will be found floating on the surface. Another 15% will be found in the seashore. Remaining 70% of the plastic, you may find them sinking to the sea bottom. How living beings ingest microplastics in the sea? The bottom water aquatic animals and surface aquatic animals. So they may ingest the microplastics directly or indirectly. Indirectly means they may consume some other aquatic prey and they ingest the plastics. Birds, mammals feeding on these aquatic organisms also ingest microplastics. So the microplastics are found in almost all marine and freshwater environments. They are found in sea turtles, seabirds, penguins, pelicans, marine mammals, marine whales, fish. In fish, tiger sharks, they are known to ingest various items of plastic debris, plastic bottles, caps, bags, polystyrene fragments in the gut of 21% of the examined tiger sharks found to have plastics in their body. In New England coast, fragments are found in 8 out of 13 fish species caught. Actually, the impact in fish is little known because it's largely because sampling has not been sufficiently frequent. Large-scale studies are not taken place. In sea turtles, the effect. These sea turtles are most threatened by plastic debris. The sea turtles are endangered species. So, in one study, stomach and esophagus of 38 green turtles were full with plastics. Even in whales, in one study, it revealed that 28 of 75 whales found to have these plastics in their body. Walker and Co. in 1989 reported 43 incidents of debris ingestion in whale species. You can see how this humpback whale was entangled with nylon rope and it was brought to the seashore. You can see a gray seal, Netherlands, entangled in a nylon thread, and it damaged the backbone and it resulted in paralysis. Seals are very curious and playful animals. 60,000 seals died in stake nets in Norway, as per the study that took place in 2010. Sea lions, northern elephant seals, stellar sea lions, Pacific harbor seals, all are found to be affected. The seals in Pacific Ocean, shores of Australia, New Zealand, everywhere they were found affected. It is estimated that 1,478 fur seals and sea lions die annually from entanglement with plastic nylon nets. Even dolphins are found to be affected. In one study conducted in Argentina showed that 28% of the dolphins found to have plastic debris in their stomachs. This plastic industry contributes nearly 10% of toxic release in the environment. So they are even entered through chemicals, pesticides, and as I already revealed, they affect the both animal, human, and aquatic health and population. So already I briefed that these PCBs they cause disruption to photosynthesis and reproduction in higher animals. These PCBs are carcinogenic, immunotoxic. They dogs, and they are also found in the human breast milk. There are many laboratory ways to analyze them. Now coming to the control point, how plastic waste management can be done. So 3R, reduce, recycle, and reuse. 3R principles we have to follow. And we can use alternatives for plastics. And by strict legislation by government, can reduce the usage of plastics. Cleaning of the land, premises, cleaning of the sea, they are need of the hour. We need to create awareness program among the people, school children, and farmers. Affected animals and human beings need to be given health care. How would awareness can be given to the public? It is possible by sufficient government funding, the universities and other NGOs. So we can motivate the people to avoid usage of plastics. School children, farmers, housewives need to be educated through trainings, lectures, posters, and in televisions, and by writing newspaper articles. What are the alternatives to bioplastics? They are based on polylactic acid. One material is plastarch. They are very commonly now, they are promising alternatives. They are more expensive to produce, but their price, of course, is reducing day by day. There is one alternative for plastic, that is PO pouch. So this can be used instead of plastic water bottles. This can be eaten along with the food. It has low environmental impact and cheaper to produce than plastic PO pouch. The plastic bags made out of jute or cloth, it costs significantly more than the plastic bag. they cost about rupees 8 to 10 per piece. Plastic carry bags are much cheaper. In Coimbatore city municipality, one attempt was made to use bio bags. So this yielded considerable success. One can reduce the usage of plastic by imposing fine on usage of plastic bags. When the fine was imposed, it was found that 82% of the consumers did not opt for using the plastics. They switched over to other type of alternate materials like bringing the cotton bag, jute bag, something like that. This study performed by Delhi School of Economics showed that imposing a fine will definitely reduce the usage of plastics by the consumers. So recycling. In most countries, the plastic that are recycled largely is limited to bottles and drink containers only. Heavier plastics recycling is not common. So recycling in Europe has shown encouraging signs, but these are very limited in India and overall Asia. There is a Titech LLC company that produces railroad ties from vehicle tires, plastic bottles, and plastic bags. 1 mile of railroad made up from these ties been made. So in the year 2013, Indian Railway has constituted a committee and they framed guidelines to use plastics to line the roads. So to make the plastic roads, thermoplastic materials are commonly used, like polyethylene, terephthalate, polypropylene, polystyrene, low density polyethylene, high density polyethylene. But here polyvinyl chloride should not be used because this liberates toxic amounts of dioxin. Then recycling, again, there is one company called AgriPlas. So this is engaged in recycling of plastics that collects agricultural waste plastics and turns them into new plastic items. Whether is it possible to clean the sea, ocean? Is it possible? Many governments have tried. Korean government spent enormous millions of dollars of money to clean up the ocean, but success is very limited because the amount of plastic that is entering into the ocean is so large that cleaning is not successful. Beach cleaning program by central government of India has also been initiated by giving many project schemes. Even College of Fisheries, Mangalore, has taken on such projects and attempted to clean the sea shore. Many international initiatives have been taken place to remove the plastic menace. In 2017, 200 governments of the United Nations Environment Assembly made a resolution about plastic waste. European Union has waste, and they ensured that every piece of packaging produced in Europe will be reused or recyclable by 2030. The resolution was brought in by European Union. Number of countries have banned the use of plastic bags now. Many coastal cleanups and public awareness films are brought out. Which countries have banned the plastic? The states of Hawaii, North Carolina have banned plastic bags. Australia, in some states, Italy, China, Bangladesh, many countries in Africa, including Rwanda, Kenya, Congo, and South Africa, are banning the plastics. In India, Sikkim government got some success in plastic ban. They have reduced the usage of plastic since the year 2005. On October 2nd, in 2019, Honorable Prime Minister of India, he announced that phase-wise reduction of plastic usage will be by this year end. We hope the plastic menace will be controlled significantly. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change directed all states that there will not be immediate ban on plastic items. Instead, they asked state government, state departments to strengthen the plastic waste management. So the government has appealed to reduce the plastic usage in a phased manner. So with these few words, I conclude. Once again, little bit I would like to speak in Kannada. ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾದ ಹಾಗೆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಕ್ಕೂ ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೆಟ್ಟದಕ್ಕೂ ಇದೆ. ಹಲವಾರು ಸಾಮಗ್ರಿಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಚೇರ್, ಕಾರ್ ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬಳಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇಂಜಿನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದಕ್ಕೂ ಬಳಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಇಂದ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು ಆಗಿದೆ, ಕೆಟ್ಟದ್ದು ಕೂಡ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬೇರೆ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಂತೆ ಅದು ಕರಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. 400 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಕಟ್ಟಲೆ ಮಣ್ಣಿನಲ್ಲೇ ಬೆಳೀತದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಸುಟ್ಟಾಗ ಕೂಡ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಒಂದು ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ, ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಗಳನ್ನ ವಾತಾವರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್, ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಚೂರು ಚೂರಾಗಿ ಅದು ವಿಭಜನೆ ಬಿದ್ದು ಅದು ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಆರೋಗ್ಯದ ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತು ಜಾನುವಾರುಗಳ ಆರೋಗ್ಯದ ಮೇಲೆ ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಆರೋಗ್ಯದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪರಿಣಾಮಗಳು ಉಂಟು. ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಬೇಗ ಪ್ರಾಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಮನುಷ್ಯರಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಭವ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಸ್, ಮಧುಮೇಹ, ಥೈರಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಗಳನ್ನು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಯ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೈಪೋಥೈರಾಯಿಡಿಸಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳು. ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಂತವೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಊಟ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತಿನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಹೊಟ್ಟೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವುಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾವನ್ನಪ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದಾಗೆ ಅನೇಕ ದೇಶಗಳು, ಜೋರ್ಡಾನ್, ಇಥಿಯೋಪಿಯಾ, ಕೆನ್ಯಾ, ನೈಜೀರಿಯಾ, ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ, ಇರಾನ್ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಗಳಿಂದ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವು ಸಾಯ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಸತ್ತೋದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ತಿಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಭವ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಆ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಗಳು ಹೋಗ್ತವೆ. ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಕೂಡ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನೇಕ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬಳಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಸುತ್ತೋಲೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊರಡಿಸಿದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬಳಕೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ 3 R ನಾವು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ರೀಸೈಕಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ರೀಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು ಮರುಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಘೋಷಣೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣ ಈ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೀಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅನೇಕ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೇಳಲಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಏನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರಬಂಧವನ್ನು ಮಂಡಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಭಾಷಣವನ್ನು ಮಂಡಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಇದರಿಂದ ಅನೇಕ ಕೇಳುಗರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದಲ್ಲದೆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಒಂದು ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಸಹಕರಿಸಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬಳಕೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಇನ್ನಿತರೆ ವಿಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿ ರೋಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಮರುಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಪರಿಶೀಲಿಸಿ ಇದರ ಒಂದು ಬಳಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಯಶಸ್ವಿ ನನ್ನ 2 ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ಓವರ್ ಟು ಯು ಸರ್.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So, any questions from students and audience? ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಗಳ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮೇಲೆ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಆದಂತ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಅವರನ್ನ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ನ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೇ ತರದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಚಾಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕಳಿಸಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲ್ ಐಡಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕಳಿಸಿ ತಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಉತ್ತರಗಳನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೋವಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ತಾವು ಕಳಿಸಿದಂತ 2 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಚಾಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ನ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ತಲುಪಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಇಂದಿನ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬಳಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬಳಕೆಯಿಂದ ಆಗುವ ಲಾಭಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ನಷ್ಟಗಳು, ಪರಿಸರಕ್ಕಾಗುವ ಧಕ್ಕೆಗಳು, ಪರಿಸರ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಿಗೆ, ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಧಕ್ಕೆನೂ ಆಗ್ಬಹುದು, ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನುವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ತಡೆಗಟ್ಟುವ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ 2019 ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ನಿಷೇಧ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಡೆನೂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಹಲವು ಕಡೆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಇಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಸುಲಲಿತವಾಗಿ ಉಪಯೋಗವಾಗುವಂತ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ದಿನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ವಾಸ್ತವ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿಸರದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ನ ತಡೆದು ಹಾಕುವ ಒಂದು ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ತಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೈಗೂಡಿಸಿ ಒಗ್ಗೂಡಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಇದೆ. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹಲವು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಇಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಮುದ್ರ ತೀರಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇದರಿಂದ ಅನಾಹುತಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಮೀನುಗಳಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಇತರ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಬಾರಿ ಸರಳವಾಗಿ ಸುಲಲಿತವಾಗಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಂತ 1 ಗಂಟೆ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅನುಕೂಲವಾಗುವ ಮತ್ತು ಪೂರಕವಾಗುವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ನೀಡಿರುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ KST ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹಗಲಿರುಳು ಶ್ರಮಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಣಾ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಾದಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರಮೇಶ್ಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಯ ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಆದಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಯ್ಯಪ್ಪನ್ ಸರ್ಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುವು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸೇರಿದ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತು ಅದಷ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸಕ್ಕೆ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಪಡಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ನಾಳಿನ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೀರ್ತನಾ ಸಿಂಧೆ ಅವರು ಡ್ರಗ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಬ ವಿಷಯದ ಮೇಲೆ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ನೀಡಲಿದ್ದು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಇಂದಿನ ಹಾಜರಾತಿಯಂತೆ ನಾಳೆನೂ ಕೂಡ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹಾಜರಾಗಬೇಕೆಂದು ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಮತ್ತು ತಂತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ ಇಲಾಖೆ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಯಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಸೂಚಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಹಾಗೂ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿದಂತ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಒಬ್ಬ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಉತ್ತರವನ್ನು ಬರೆದು ಕಳಿಸಿರುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಭಾರಿ ವಿಷಾದ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಸೊ ನಾಳಿನ ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಹಾಗೂ ಇಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಸರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ 2 ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಉತ್ತರಗಳನ್ನ ನಾಳೆ ತಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಬರೆದು ತಮ್ಮ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಯ ಇಮೇಲ್ ಐಡಿಗೆ ಕಳುಹಿಸತಕ್ಕದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.